Hello everyone, my name is Midun and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video series, I'm going to be covering coding interview questions based on data structures and algorithms. Some of these questions have been asked in top tech companies like Google and Facebook in their interview process. Now, most of these questions that I'm going to be covering are irrespective of any coding language or framework, and most of them have a straightforward answer, but we need to find out the most efficient solution for them in the terms of the time taken or the space required for those algorithms. And before I go on to solving any question, I would like to give you a brief about the big O notation and how we can use it to classify the algorithms that we are writing. So what is the big O notation and why do we need it? Most of the question that we are going to be covering will depend on getting the optimal solution for that, the most efficient solution in terms of the runtime or the space required by that algorithm. So how do we know or how do we classify those algorithms? Depending on their efficiency. So the big O notation is a way to do that. The big O notation is used to classify algorithms on how their runtime or space requirements grow as the input size grows. So it is essentially the rate of change of the time required or the space required by an algorithm depending upon the input size. Now, to give you an example, let's say I have to paint a wall. And now the time taken to paint a wall will directly depend upon the area of that wall, directly proportional to the area of the wall. Now, the area of the wall, let's say if the wall is W meters wide and H meters high, the area would be W multiplied by H. Now, we can say that the time taken to paint that wall is of order W multiplied by H. Now, so we describe in that way. So this is the big O notation for that function. And let's say we have to apply P layers of paint for that. Then the time taken will get multiplied by P. So we can say that the time complexity in this case is of order P multiplied by W multiplied by H. So this is a graph showing the time versus data input for different big O notations. When we are comparing the previous case, we saw that the time taken to print that paint that wall was a direct function of the width and the height of the wall. In that case, the time taken was directly proportional to the input given. So we can represent those sort of algorithms or functions and as a linear relationship between the time and the input. So we can denote it by the expression order of n, where the as the input size increases, the time increases proportionally to that size n. There are some other complexities which are like order of n square and n cube, where as the input size increases, the time taken for to complete that function increases exponentially. You can see that as the input size increases, the time taken increases faster, like as exponentially, and these sort of function we generally try to avoid in production level programs or systems, because as the larger scale of data is provided to the systems, we cannot afford that much of time for that programs to complete. So ideally, the solutions that we look for are generally in the order of n or of order of log n. Okay, there are 2 points to consider when we are writing the big O notation for any function or algorithm. The first one is that we can drop the constants, because the big O notation describes the rate of increase of function. So let's say we have found out the time complexity for a function as a as 2n. we can say that 2 is always constant for whether for lower inputs or larger inputs, and the time taken for that function generally depends upon the n size, the input size. So we can express it as the order of n itself, because it gives us the information that the time taken is generally is a function of n for that algorithm. Similarly, we can drop the non-dominant terms in that expression, such that if we have found out the time complexity for a function as to n square plus n, we can say that the time taken will generally depend upon the dominant term, which is n square in this case, and we can express in the terms of order of n square, because for larger inputs or small inputs, the n square is a dominant term, and the time taken will generally depend upon that. Similarly, here also, it's the n is the dominant term compared to the log n, so we can express in the terms of order of n for this function. Okay, let's take a look at some examples now. I have a function and we need to calculate the time complexity for this function. We can see that the function takes in an array of, let's say, of size n, and it is an integer array, and what this function does is calculates the sum of all the items in the array, as well as the product of all the items in the array. Now it goes through two for loops, and it goes through all the items of the array of size n, and so the number of iterations that it goes through is 2n, because it goes through the array 2 times, and we can express the time complexity of this function as an order of 2n, and we can drop the constants in the expression, and we can express it at the order of n. What it means is that this function is the time taken for this function to complete will vary linearly with the input size n. Okay, so we have a function similar to the previous one, in which we are passing in two arrays, small a and small b. Let's say the size of small a is capital A and the size of small b is capital B. Now it iterates to the first outer for loop 8 times, and it goes through for each of those iterations. The inner loops goes b times. So the total number of iterations that it actually goes is or a multiplied by b. So we can say that the order of this function is a multiplied by b. So in this example, we have three for loops. We have an outer for loop for this array, and we have an inner for loop inside that, where we iterate using the variable j, and we have a third for loop inside it, which is iterating the value k up to 10,000 values. If you were to calculate the iterations for this function, the outer for loop takes in n iterations, the inner one takes in n iterations, and third inner one takes in 10,000 iterations. Now if you're the big O notation for this function will be of order n multiplied by n multiplied by 10,000. Since we can remove the constant terms, we can express it as order of n square. Okay, so these are some of the examples to calculate the big O notation. We will, as we are solving some questions, I'll be going through some more examples as well. So thanks for watching this video, and I've been referring the Cracking the Coding interview by K. Lackman. I'll put a link to the book in the video description, and thank you for watching.